Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first official full game of the Witch Hunter Wars. This is Green Griffin. My name is Jay Sterling Ellis, and welcome to the continent of Crescentia. We have a couple players here today. We are going to be starting one half of the campaign. So, what we're doing for this campaign is we have set two separate starting places where two parties will begin their journey adventuring around this new continent here. We're starting our story in Iraden today, which is in the far northwest of the continent, a kind of a little bit more downtrodden town. But without too much further ado, let's play that theme music and let's get started. So we started our story today once again in the small, misty village of Iraden. The definition of a sleepy town, often dreaming of places much better. The water that comes up to the beach laps it in a deep scarlet red, as the mass of many a sunken ship litter the harbor, their crow's nests reaching up to the sky like hands. It's hard to remember a non misty day, as it is generally quite dense. But tonight is a special night. It is the first night of a of the festival. This festival happens once every year. It is generally to pray for a good harvest, something that is very much needed this year. Leading up the festival is the mayor. He stands about 6 feet tall. He wears dark leather armor with a long black cape. He has blonde hair that's slicked back um, behind his large pointy ears, and he wears a silver diadem around his head. Right now, he's standing behind a podium on a large stage in front of the townspeople. To his right, he has his advisor, and to his left, he has Oradani Hellborn, the de facto security leader, military personnel, uh, bruiser, for lack of a better word. And as the mayor goes up to the podium, he begins to speak. Hello, my great people of Iridan. I know that this year has hit us harder than most. It aches my heart to say this, but as many of you may have already gathered, and as many of you have heard the whisperings of, I have begun to put together a adventuring guild or group, party, whatever you'd like to call it, here to go forth outside of our walls, past the weld, past the coast, wherever they may roam, in hopes that they may bring back people, food, money. At this point, we really do need it all. If I could have everyone just kind of take a seat as I call out the names of those who will be joining this party. So everyone takes a seat. It takes a few moments as everyone kind of begins to quiet down. First and foremost, a great friend of the village, I would like to welcome Avestus. And Drew, do you want to go ahead and describe your character as they walk up to the podium?
You see a very oversized man, very aged, very experienced looking. White hair, very drabbled and very torn clothing. The sense of a hunter you get the first premonitions of by seeing him, but he has a very stature behind him and has a very looming gaze to him. As he comes up, you see a very well-defined scar all the way from his top temple going down the eyes right down to his mid-chest, what looks like a large claw mark has struck him down. But it does not take away from his looks of being very rugged, but he does not seem to give much of an expression of wanting to be here. But he does turn to the mayor and gives a ample handshake and just kind of leans in. You don't need to make a show of this, friend. We'll take a firm standing behind the mayor as he waits to hear from the rest of the parties.
Thank you. The next person was actually quite surprised, was recommended to me by their own mother. And I would like to have Sabbath Hellborn please stand up and come join us up here on the podium. And Motley, if you want to go ahead and describe Sabbath.
So, as they stand, you see a very average height but very, very nervous looking individual. Sabbath very slowly approaches, not entirely sure that they want to be there, looking like they're going to jump out of their own skin. They're very simply dressed in black pants, a brown shirt and boots, but they have a gray trench coat. They are a tiefling, light purple, with very, very silvery white hair. It's hard to get a gauge on exactly how old they appear. They approach the stage, kind of wringing their hands in front of them. In their pocket, there's a little deck of cards sticking out. And as they approach, they kind of stop at the stairs and look around. They lock eyes with Oridani, shake their head, and then continue. They stop next to the mayor. Are you sure you want me to do this?
The mayor turns to you, kind of closes his eyes, and gives you a gentle nod.
So with a resounding sigh, Sabbath settles in, standing behind the mayor.
And lastly, a newer addition to our village, someone who has agreed to join the party, even though they've only just met us. I would like everyone to give a warm welcome to Helios. And Cam, do you want to go ahead and describe your character?
He's a tall, lanky, high elf. He stands up, goes to take his first steps, and just trips over his own feet, quickly gets up. I'm good, nobody saw that, and just awkwardly makes his way up. Shyly looks at the others, nods at the mayor, and just stands behind them.
And would you like to describe Eggy?
Oh, Eggy's there too?
Yeah.
Eggy's a little ice dragon, which kind of does a figure eight in between his legs.
So Eggsy is about maybe 4 or 5 inches long, and does like a little figure eight, and then kind of just goes right up the side of Helios and curls up on his shoulder. The mayor looks to the village and says, "I give you the last hope of Iraden." And he kind of looks over at you guys. No pressure. Now we're going to get everyone prepared for the first outing. Everyone, please enjoy your night. Thank you. And he steps away from the podium. He's like, "You guys can all follow me. We don't have much, but we want to make sure that we send you out with whatever we can. And got a couple of surprises for you. And he motions for you guys to follow and go into this the large kind of city hallish log house. Do you guys follow?
Most certainly. He will kind of gesture forth to the rest of the party. You may go first.
Is Oridani coming as well?
Yes.
Sabbath is going to stick as close as possible to her side.
Ori looks down and, I know, child, but it's not safe for you here anymore.
It's not safe for me out there either, grandmother.
You're going on this adventure whether you like it or not.
Fine. And then they kind of just follow after the after the mayor.
So as you walk forward, Ori kind of slows down, a little exasperated. She knows it's hard and that this is definitely a tribulation, but they let you get far enough ahead. You all enter the log cabin, the longhouse, and in front of you, you see a very long table that seems to be filled with gear. So we hope we got everything that you may need. There's a few things, however, that I would like to explain. As they walk forth, there's multiple sets of armor, weapons, uh, bows, arrows, crossbows, couple of walking sticks, packs with bed rolls, pretty much what you would imagine. But at the very end of the table, you see a handful of what look like large medallions with gold around the edges and a red gem in the middle. So, as you have gathered, this is as much as we are able to do without. Um, if you need any armor, please take it. Same with weapons. Rations, we only have so much of. I'm sorry. But before I take you to the map room, I want to explain what these are. And he holds up one of these medallions. This is a very old, ancient technology used by the first settlers of Iraden, and then used again by the second settlers of Iraden when Oridani and the rest of the crew of the Ghost settled here. We're calling them Sanctuary coins. Now, the last person who knew how to change the destination on these died many, many years ago. But what these will do is, with a single word, they will open a portal here to Iraden from wherever you are in the realm. So if you need to regroup, if you need to resupply, or if you'd like to possibly easily transport um, people to work, or supplies that we might need, anything like that, they will show up here with haste. There are some limitations, the main being that once the portal is closed, you won't be able to return to the other side. So, unless you'd like to start back here again, you'll need to keep the portal open for the entire time that you are here. which, as you may imagine, is a security concern. So please use it smartly. The last thing that we need is to have a group of gnolls or anything like that in the middle of our small village. Does everyone understand? Does anyone have any questions?
Sabbath shakes their head no.
Are you sure that these two are up to the task? As he will kind of turn towards you two and kind of give it a little doubtful look at you, as he doesn't seem to have high expectations for you.
Sabbath looks at the mayor. It's a valid question.
Helios just kind of looks at the medallions and looks back at the mayor like, I think I can manage this quite well, giving an odd side eye to the very large man.
The mayor looks at you all, looks at Abestus, and says, "Believe it or not, you are not the most deadly person that we're sending on this mission."
Oh, great. As long as I don't have to babysit the whelps. That was part of the deal.
I think you'll find that, for the most part, they'll be quite adequate.
Words are cheap. We will see by their actions what they are worth.
I've seen Helios grab and carry a large boulder from the edge of the forest to here. That did happen, so I think we should be okay. Anyways, if there's no questions about the Sanctuary coins, I would have you follow me and everyone else to the map room.
Sabbath just silently follows.
Avestus will join along with the rest of everyone.
So as you get into the map room, you see a very, very large detailed map of the entire realm. It's on a very large table. And it looks like there's a couple chess pieces on top of where Iraden is. So, as you all may know, the first obstacle that you may face as you go out into the realm is going to be the forest. Now, I remember once upon a time, this forest was full of life, dryads, druids. It was a fantastical place, a magical place filled with wonder and all around good vibes. It is very much changed in the past few years, and I know I'm not the only one that has felt it. I fear that there may be something going on inside of this forest. Now, I've had my scouts gather as much information as we've been able to find. Of course, they're not very well versed in anything like magic. But they did find a mansion very deep in the heart of the woods where they were getting very odd mystical feelings, feelings of dread, feelings of chills. But I feel that whatever is changing this forest lies deep at the heart of that mansion. So that is what we would have you do first, is to go to that mansion. The good news is it's a fucking mansion. So as long as the people there aren't there, or the people there are long dead, etc., vis-a-vis, you know what I'm trying to say. Feel free to bring back whatever you like and keep whatever you'd like as well. Any questions?
Sounds simple enough.
Hellborn?
Sabbath just kind of looks up. To be clear, You're not explicitly asking us to rob anything, are you?
I won't discipline you if you do.
Right.
These are desperate times.
Sabbath just kind of looks at Ori, looks back at the mayor, and nods.
Or he just kind of gives a kind of look to you. And our newest villager, Helios, do you have any questions?
None that come to mind personally.
Well, your gear will be here throughout the night. So if you'd like to go and enjoy the rest of the festival, we'll have you leave in the morning. Understood?
Understood.
If you need me, I'll be back in the forest. I need to tidy up a few things.
So yeah, so I'm just gonna go. I'll go down here. So Drew, you said you're going back to the forest.
Yep, just to collect his own adventuring gear.
Okay. Helios, what are you gonna be doing?
I think I'm just gonna go back to my little hut there and feed Eggy, and then probably just go for a walk around town.
Okay. And Sabbath.
Sabbath probably gonna go back to like the town center and just kind of bask in the familiarity of the town for what they assume is going to be the last time.
Okay. So what we'll do is we'll start with Avestus, and then we'll do Helios, and then we'll do Sabbath, and we'll all kind of meet up at the end. So Avestus, you're gonna head out of town, and you're going to go back into your kind of shack hut in the woods.
Yeah, he's gonna gather up a few roots and that stuff, like just kind of like some basics of just to treat some people if people get wounded. But on his way back, he will go check up on in the clinic where he had gotten that messenger boy earlier to see if he's up and about.
All right, so you pack up everything there. You even kind of dismantle your hut. You put up, what fire was left there. You just kind of smush the coals and put everything on your back and head back into town. You stop at the clinic and you see the boy is there. His leg is in a splint, but for the most part, he's got a big smile on his face. Oh, you came back. Um, did you come to visit me, or did you come to meet people, or?
No, just came to say farewell and make sure that you are well, and that as again you don't do anything stupid like last time.
Oh no, he just kind of slaps his leg. He's like, no, I think I'll be a little bit too late up to do that. I think I've learned my lesson. Thank you very much for everything that you did, and I think you're gonna do great things because you're a good person, and I can't wait to hear the stories of what you get up to. We promise to bring back stories from around the realm on your adventures.
I will try to keep my exploits to the lowest. I rather keep my involvement of this out of ears, but it is a favor to a friend, so
Well,
call it fair's fair for it.
that's fair. So he smiles, and all the other nurses kind of smile at you. Is there anything else you'd like to do before you go into like the city square?
No, I actually will kind of just walk around, and I will see if I can spot my new companions, and just kind of gauge from what they're doing, kind of like see what type of person they are.
Okay. So we're gonna go over to Helios second. So Helios, you've gone back to your kind of like cabin here in the heart of town at the inn. Not anything too crazy. But you've got your bedroll, your supplies, the remains of Eggsy's shell. What would you like to do?
I think he's just gonna park it on the bed just for a minute to give himself a bit of a breather from the events of the day.
Mhm.
Let Eggy run around the floor, and then probably just pack up what he can. Gonna take a couple pieces of Eggy's shell just as like a memento of what happened from thinking it was just a magic boulder to actually having a pet dragon.
It's a nice boulder.
Very nice boulder, very warm.
Yeah, so like eggs actually is gonna help you pick up the pieces of his egg. Um, very kind of excited to go on this adventure. You're gonna keep me safe, right?
I'm gonna do what I can, little buddy. You and I are gonna have the best time. I'm not so sure about the big man or the demon looking person, but you know what? Friends we haven't met yet.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. Well, I know if you're around, I can lean on you. I can. Yeah, I'm just really excited. I can't wait to go see the world, and I get to do it with my best and only friend. So I'm just so over the moon. Quick question: what's the moon?
Uh, you know how sometimes at night there's this giant orb in the sky that you tend to look at sometimes?
Oh, like that big egg up there?
Yeah, that's the moon.
So that's what people mean. Okay, okay, all right. Um, do you mind if I just kind of I'm kind of tired and I know you want to go have some fun. Do you mind if I just kind of like crawl up in your hood?
Yeah, whatever keeps you comfy, buddy.
Okay, thank you. He just goes up goes up your side again and just curls up and starts to kind of snore in your hood.
It's like if a cat was a dragon.
Pretty much. It's the dragon is very much in its kitten phase right now. um so yeah, like you grab your quiver and your pack and everything there. And you're just gonna head back into like the town center.
Yep.
Awesome. And we're gonna go over to Sabbath now. Sabbath, what would you like to do?
Um, Sabbath is probably just like is there a town square in
Yeah.
Iraden?
Yep.
Yeah. Sabbath is probably just kind of lingering on the outskirts of town square. They've got their hands tucked in their pockets and they're kind of fiddling with the deck of cards. They keep every so often glancing up to the sky as if they're looking for something that's not there. They look nervous. The pack they have is probably still the one that Ori packed for them, and they're just kind of looking around. They have like a kind of melancholy expression,
Mhm.
and they're just taking in the sights and remembering their home.
As you're walking by, you walk past an old lady with very kind of milky eyes. And they kind of try to wave you down. Hello, hello.
Sabbath kind of startles. Hello?
Hello. I have a message for you.
A message? From who?
I just know that it's for you.
Sabbath just kind of swallows. Very well then.
So as you get closer, the very old lady, as you get closer, you see that they're not just really old. They're fairly decrepit. Um, it also looks like they're missing body parts.
Oh no.
Almost like you can see through them.
Oh no.
As you get closer, they whisper to you like, "You can't run. You can't hide. Your,
Sabbath just takes a big step back.
your family owes me a debt and I will claim it."
I owe you nothing. My family owes you nothing.
Have they told you who I am, child?
Yes.
Have they used my name?
No.
They dare not utter it. I will be seeing you. This world once again shall belong to me.
Not if I can help it.
Oh, I'm going to have so much fun with you, child. Ask your grandmother. Ask them about Gazarid. Ask them about Joran. And as the old lady starts to laugh, she's kind of fades away into dust.
Sabbath just kind of stares where the woman once was, clutches the cards really tightly in their pocket, and turns and runs back to where they were, like back into the shadows of the town square.
Mhm. So eventually, you've all ended back into the square. Avestus is kind of by himself, just scanning the area, looking for people, and Helios is pretty chipper for the most part. They are carrying their little pet dragon in their hood, and otherwise everybody else is just having a real good time. There's a carnival. There's some games, and it seems to be that there is a marketplace that is selling different kind of confectionaries. That seems to be drawing quite a crowd. I just like reading the Ken Sabbath, please catch a break. I'm sorry.
If there are snacks in the area, Sabbath is gonna go get some.
Oh, there are hella snacks.
Perfect.
All right. Um, so Sabbath is gonna go towards basically where this place has been gathering a bunch of people. Does anybody else want to go towards this very nice smelling place?
Absolutely. Helios is going to grab some snacks for himself and maybe some mealworms and little fried lizards for Eggy.
Okay. So you both first are going to head towards this big, it looks like a big tent. And there's a gathering of people in front of it. Avestus, you're still kind of looking at everyone. Do you want to kind of follow them into the crowd, or are you going to watch kind of from like a vantage?
He's gonna definitely stand back. He's definitely gonna smell it a bit, and he's just kind of like gonna just try to like resist it for a moment because it's almost as if an urge is taking him. But he's like, "Mm."
Yeah.
And we'll definitely sit back and find a seat and just kind of watch from everything to make sure everything's just quiet.
Yeah. So like the air is filled with the like the scent of like brown sugar and cinnamon, with just a little dollop of caramel on the wind, and that's the only way you can smell. Like it smells even more delicious the closer you get. As you guys get to the front, you see a person who looks to be about a 6 foot tall cat with a very large mustache and very wild hair under a very weirdly shapen hat. They are wearing a green suit and they have a cane in one hand. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Please, the next person, can you please come up to our booth here? We're making the best pretzels this side of the continent. You there, you. And he's going to point to Helios. What shape would you like your delight?
You said you were making pretzels?
I can make more than just pretzels.
Listen, man, I heard you say pretzels. I want a heart shape and I want a mushroom for my little friend in my hood.
That I can do.
Wonderful.
So you see with his free hand, he moves it through the air, kind of like throwing his fingers to different places. And you see dough start to rise and follow his movements, almost like he's controlling this with his hand without touching it. He whips it around over his head and brings it down and starts to make it into a very intricate looking heart. It looks like a real heart, not like like an emoji heart. It looks like an actual heart. And he throws it over to another person that's working behind him. This person is doing something similar, but he's controlling fire and he's starting to cook it as another person is filling it with strawberry filling and chocolate. And then on the other side of the chocolate, some raspberry filling. And then they throw it over to a larger person who takes it and just kind of dumps it into a vat of boiling oil very quickly, pull it back up, and they splash it with a bit of salt. They hand it over to you. This is a very intricate looking heart pretzel. So it's made out of the same kind of bread a pretzel would be. And inside it, where the ventricles and everything would be, is filled with jam and chocolate. The person at the end also is like, oops, almost forgot. And he goes in, grabs actually it's a fair sized mushroom, and they hand it to you.
This looks delicious, thank you. And he just takes like a big old bite out of the heart one and just the most content sigh he could manage.
Yeah, so I'll have you roll a sleight of hand.
I have a +5.
Awesome.
And is that with the d20?
Yep.
Okay. 13.
Okay. So you bite into it. You manage to not get it all over your face. You get a little bit on your face though, and you just kind of put your mushroom in your hood for Eggsy to eat there. Next, the cat person looks over to Sabbath and says, "What about you, child? Is there anything I can get for you?"
Sabbath
If,
just stands,
if
blinks.
you name it, I can make it.
They just blink very slowly, fold their hands in front of them. I would like it shaped like a cow.
Interesting. I don't think I have ever done that before, but
You
maybe
seem
see
up
what
for
we
a
can do.
challenge.
So you see him stop for a second. He puts down his cane and he's using both hands to control the dough this time. And he takes it in, puts it into a very small ball, and is working it with his hands. And then he moves his hands away. It has made the shape of a hollow cow right down to the udders. He sends it over to the other person to start kind of hitting it with that fire as they put the filling in. So with the filling here, they're putting in some custard, but they're only filling it up about halfway with custard, and they're putting like a whipped cream on the top. Then they throw it over to the guy that will put it into the oil. He throws it into the oil, throws it back up, and he takes a few pieces of shaved chocolate and puts it on to the cow where the spots would be. Voila! Here is your cow, ma'am.
Sabbath just kind of claps their hands. Very impressive. And then they go to take a bite.
And I'm going to get a sleight of hand check.
Oh boy. All right, how am I doing for sleight of hand? Okay. That is with the +3, a 13.
Okay, so that's pretty much the same. So again, you get a little bit on your face, you get a little bit of the whipped cream on your nose, but you notice in time to just kind of flick it off and eat it. And then the cow person says, "Is there anyone else that would like to test me? I will create a delicate creation." Oh no, that's not a good one. He looks over at his friend. He's like, "That's not a good term at all. Let's try that again. Does anyone have a challenge for me to make a pastry unlike any other? If you name a shape, if you name an animal, person, anything you want, I will make it. For I am the Domancer, and nothing is outside the realm of my imagination."
Helios gets really excited and starts waving his hand, and much to Eggy's dismay, kind of gently shimmies him out of his hood and goes, "Can you make a dragon?"
I just made you a heart. But, what kind of dragon?
Hmm.
Do you have a color or a shape? There's many types of dragons.
Well, my friend and I, and he vaguely gestures to Sabbath, have a very large friend. Can you make a very large dragon?
Can I make a very large dragon do what?
Out of a pretzel.
Oh, yes, okay. Um, hmm, yes. Yes, I think I can. So you see, he pulls out a very large amount of dough. Probably about twice as much as both of yours combined. And he starts to kind of, it almost looks like he's doing a dance at this point. And he's pulling it and he's making it large. And it takes him a good 10 minutes. But after that 10 minutes, he has created a very, very large, long dragon with claws and wings. Its mouth and neck are hollow and go into its belly, and then the belly is also hollow as well. So he throws it over to the person who's, you know, adding the heat, and this guy is like, this is a little much. So he starts hitting it with a lot of fire and stuff like that, and he's going really quick at it. And as he's doing that, um, the other person's like taking the head of the dragon and is putting in a cinnamon mixture, like it's a liquid cinnamon, with some brown sugar on top that goes all the way down. And they start to fill the stomach up, or like the stomach of this dragon up with that, and a layer of it kind of over the throat of the dragon. And then they take some meringue and they fill its throat up with meringue until it's coming out and it looks like a very large uh, puff of smoke, but it's solid and it's meringue. They send it over to the person to throw it in the oil, but it won't fit in the oil. So this guy actually has to like throw the oil onto it. And as it comes back up, he has like two handfuls of like confectionery glitter and he just throws it like three or four times, just covering it all so that it looks like it has scales, like red, like red sparkling ruby scales. And you said it could not be done, but here it is, the great red dragon Deliciosimo. and he hands it over to you. What do you think?
And he just starts like aggressively clapping, like, I cannot wait to show our large friend this. Hopefully he'll stop looking at me like he wants me dead.
So they hand it over to you. Everybody is clapping. The guy comes over and he's like, "Hey, kid. Thanks for that request there. We don't usually get anything that complex. Keep in touch, okay?" So now that you have the large dragon filled pretzel, what are you gonna do with it, Helios?
Oh, okay, I thought like Sabbath was also in with this. I'm actually gonna deliver this to Avestus.
Sabbath is going to follow along, like beside Helios, because Helios referred to Sabbath as friend, and that's all they needed. So they're just very enthusiastic about this dragon pretzel.
Just like awkwardly making their way through town trying to find this large man.
He's not easy to lose. We couldn't have lost him.
You would be surprised. I get lost going through a grocery store.
So you bring the dragon pretzel over to Avestus, who is kind of sitting away from everyone. I'm gonna have you roll a wisdom save, Avestus.
Okay. Okay. Oh, that is a 19 plus 1. That's a 20.
Okay. So you're able to not jaw open salivate. You are kind of impressed, but you're not letting it be seen by everyone else. But yeah, you're impressed, but you're still pretty stoic about it.
What is this? As he just kind of whites his mouth just a little bit.
It's a gift.
A gift. A giant dragon looking thing is a gift.
It's an edible dragon, my very large friend.
Consider it an olive branch.
But it is a dessert, not an olive branch.
I'll just take a bite. It's delicious.
He will take a very large, what seems to be almost like a sword-like weapon, but is a dagger for his size, and cut a little piece out. And he will try not to look like he's enjoying it, because this is the first thing he's had what is from not the forest in a very long time.
Okay,
And
I'm gonna have you roll. I'm gonna have you roll a con at this point.
Uh-oh. Well then. Oh, I'm good at those. Okay, that is a 19. That is a 16 plus con modifier.
All right. So you again, you don't show it forthright, but you take a bite, and it is probably the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. It's nice. It has that kind of like pretzel kind of doughiness to it. But the more you eat into it, kind of like it gets nice and airy and almost flaky, right to the point of where you taste the cinnamon and brown sugar mixture, which is just like, wow. And then to top it all off, you have a nice whipped meringue, which ended up mixing with the cinnamon and the brown sugar and is just melting in your mouth as you eat it. You finish it, you gulp it down, and you very much have enjoyed it. You enjoyed it quite a bit.
It was adequate. His face again looks very unchanged and still unimpressed. But secretly inside, he's going, "Oh my god, this is delicious!"
Helios just kind of scoffs and just pats his very large arm. I knew you'd like it.
What are you talking about? I clearly did not give an expression of liking it. I I did not like it so I will not waste this gift. I will give it to some others that I know who may appreciate it, as he kind of looks back and forth a little bit for a moment and grabs it and starts walking it off towards somewhere inconspicuous.
All right, so you start walking away. You find a tree. I'm gonna have you roll stealth.
Okay. Ooh, nat 20.
So you are
Um,
able to quickly find a tree, and you just kind of hide behind it. What would you like to do now that you're effectively hidden?
I just start nomming it. Oh God, I'm gonna put on so many calories. Oh, this is delicious. Mm. Oh God, force food does not compare to this. Oh God, he has definitely not had anything like this in a very long time. So he's very thoroughly enjoying it.
So you guys have your night. You all end up going to bed with very full stomachs. You're woken up before dawn by the mayor and his aide and Ori once again. Looks like it's time for you all to go. You have our blessing and whatever you may need. And he starts to lead you to the end of town. I'm sorry we could not afford horses or couldn't spare any horses, but wish you luck. And I want you to meet the last member of your team. And as you guys exit the town, you see a woman standing kind of in like the middle of the kind of trail that goes out. And they are wearing looks like almost like a padded leather armor. And it seems to have an emblem on the chest and on the bracers of a large weeping willow tree. This person is shuffling a deck of cards that seem to have a very sharp silver edge to them. And the mayor says, "This is Saras, and she will be guiding you or working with you through the woods." And that's where we're going to end tonight. Yeah, I hope everybody had fun, and I look forward to playing with everybody again. Thank you for listening to Grin and Griffin Presents The Witch Hunter Wars. If you liked what you heard and would like to keep up to date on the podcast, you can follow us on Facebook at Grinning Griffin. And if you'd like to support us and get access to tons of upcoming side quests, behind the scenes features, and even supplementary content, you can find us at patreon.com/GrinningGriffin. Thank you so much for your support of making the Witch Hunter War a success, and we will see you next week.